Hello everybody, it's Cheri and it's Friday, so it's my day to share how it's going eating whole food, plant-based, no oil. Yeah, it's been a doozy of a week. I don't know if you can see in the background there. I'll talk about her in just a moment, but update on this has been probably one of the harder weeks that I've had. Not because of the food that we're eating, not because of the exercise, or a little bit, I'll touch on that, but because of that one right there. I give you an update on weight 231 when I was in the hospital. If you're following along, if you've just stumbled on this video and you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, I'm on week 17 eating whole food plant-based. And back 17, 18, 19 weeks ago, I ended up in the ER, thought I was having a heart attack, and had to have a heart cath done, and luckily my heart was fine, but I had some other health issues. If you want to watch, I think the very first video, week 3 or whatever, I talk about it a little bit there, but it was suggested to me to try to heal my body with food, with nutrition, and I didn't want to take medication, so I was all open to it, even though never in a million years would I think that I'd be sitting here doing week 17 of videos about me eating whole food plant-based, not having dairy, not having cheese, not having animal protein. Oh boy, I gotta make sure she doesn't fall off the bed there. We got the cat back there too. She'll be coming in, or he'll be coming into the mix. But anyway, here I am, and 231 in the hospital. I was 173 this morning. And this is a big thing I want to talk about. I was 173 last Friday when I did the update. I ended up getting down to, I think on Monday, there was a little issue with our scale. Darren put new batteries in it, but I think it was 170. I got down to 171, which would put me at losing 60 pounds. I was pretty elated, I got to tell you. But that same day, Monday, we made the decision to get this little girl back here, who's not going to be little for long. And yeah, well, so let me talk about the weight here. So now I'm 173. So this, I've fluctuated along the way, but not much, honestly. It's been every week me losing, anywhere from 2 to 3 pounds, sometimes 4 pounds a week. Most weeks not. Most weeks around 2.5, 3 pounds. That's what I've been losing on average. So for me this week, I got down, I lost that officially 60 pounds, and then we got the puppy, and then I'm weighing myself, and then the weight is going up and going up and going up, and it was very frustrating. So what did I realize this week? And this is kind of a big thing that I want to talk about. When I first started this, if you watch the first videos, I was overweight. Yes, I was, what do they call it? I don't know, morbidly obese is what I think the term is. Like right now I'm still considered obese at 173 for my height. I'm 5'4". So I'm kind of short. I don't like to think of myself as short, but I'm definitely short. So I still have a little ways to go for if we're going to talk, my ideal body weight, and there's a lot of discussion around that. There's some different calculations as to what that is. Some calculations say I should be around 121 pounds. Some calculations say I should be up as high as 155 being ideal body weight. So it just depends on where you're getting your calculations from. I would really like to be around, my goal is to be around 150. But this is the thing. In the beginning, weight was not the reason that I did this. I did not want to be on insulin or metformin or any kind of drugs for high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So I specifically did this for health. That was the only reason, not weight. So now that I'm, 17 weeks in and I've been dropping weight like it's hot, right? It soon has become an obsession. And that's what I want to talk about. For me, numbers mean motivation. So I do my walks and I get my steps in, and I want to get every day, I want to get at least 10,000 in. I will tell you, my average way back when, if I could get to 3,000, that was a good day, so every day I want to get at least 10,000, which for me right now is not an issue. But I have to see those numbers because it's satisfying for me to have a gauge, right? And the same with the scale. But see, now I'm like, oh, I want to get to that 150. So the weight becomes kind of like the focus, and it ends up being a little bit of an obsession. Now, will I stop weighing myself? Probably not, because it is a motivator for me. But I have to be careful, because the reason now that I've been doing this for a while, I've gotten into a groove. We've got our food situation figured out. We plan our week for our meals, and it's all just like we've been doing it forever, really. So that's nice. Even this week, getting her and the week being very disrupted, we didn't fall. I didn't fall off the wagon eating. Didn't fall off the wagon with the exercise. I did a little bit less. I got my 5 miles in today though, but I just did it actually right before I took my shower and got in here, because I couldn't do it this morning because of this little baby back here. So, and that was frustrating for me, because I walk every morning early, and I get a little bit of an endorphin high off of that. So it kind of pumps my day, right? So I'm a little grumpy if I don't get it now. So, but I didn't fall off the wagon any like, I could have very easily, because I was tired and we were a little hard pressed like Monday night with getting her and getting everything adjusted. We could have been like, screw it, we're going to get some fast food. We didn't do that. So, so that to me shows that we're, that we're set. This is the real deal. But let's talk about why then, I've been so consistent on losing, and I was at 171 on Monday, and now I'm 173, which is not very much difference. And I'll tell you, it's probably water retention, because I can feel it. This week has reminded me what it feels like to feel like shit in the morning, and to be a little achy and a little bloaty. And it's been a long time, probably 16 weeks since I felt that way. But I didn't end up getting, like, Monday night, I think I got 3 hours of sleep. Because she's getting better. But one, we had, it's Puppy. She's very little. And I should introduce her here. Let me see if I can show her face. I don't know if you can see. Can you see her paws? She is a Great Dane. She's a Harlequin Great Dane. She looks like a cow, guys. I'm like a cow fanatic. And she's black and white. And she's the sweetest thing ever. She sleeps a lot. But she, she's a puppy. She actually, typically you don't get a puppy till they're 8 to 10 weeks old. She's like only 7 weeks old. So she's a little young. So that means she's real clumsy. She's not, she probably should still be with her mom and dad, or her mom, and her siblings. But there were like 11 in the litter. And, yeah, so they let me take her, because they said she's been away from mom for a little while now. So, but anyway, so we got her on Monday. So not a lot of sleep. She's up every couple hours having to go to the bathroom. And now we're taking shifts. There's a lot of us here. And yes, for any of you who know, we live in a very small cabin. There are 9 of us that live here. We already have like one cat. You can't see him. I could probably show you. There is our cat that is almost the size of the dog. Ragdoll cat. That's Simon. And then we have little Havanese Buddy. So, and then all of us. And I realized that she's going to be big. I've been around Great Danes before. I used to babysit a family when I was a kid who had Great Danes, raised them, and I loved them. I've always wanted one. So it wasn't the kids that wanted it. It wasn't Darren that wanted it. It was me. But anyways, I realized how, it's like having a baby. So this week, getting back to whole food plant-based, I gotta talk about her though. I love her so much. She threw us for a loop, because I knew it was going to be rough. But I think sleep, guys, sleep is so stinking important. And I've been able to, since I started this diet, I don't want to call it a diet, but since I started eating this way, that's what I'll say. Since I started eating this way, and then also exercising, I would be asleep by 10:30 every night. 10:30 at the latest. Usually there were times I was in bed by 9:30. Depends on what we have to do with kids. We usually read at night and that kind of stuff, and depends on like when we get started with that. But by 10:30 I'm asleep, right? And then I'm up by somewhere between 5:30 and 6:30 in the morning, just dependent, to start the day. So, I'm getting some good solid sleep. And for the first time with this whole food plant-based diet, I was sleeping like through the night. I wasn't waking up to go to the bath. That didn't start right away. It took probably, I would say, a good 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, because I would get up in the middle of the night several times to go to the bathroom, because the fluid retention that I had before was so bad, and now I don't. I don't get up, and I sleep all the way through. And there are times I go to bed and I fall asleep, and unless something with the kids or the animals wakes me up, I'm asleep, and then I wake up. And that's it. And that hadn't happened for years and years and years and years. So I'd gotten used to, now my body had gotten used to that. So this week it's like, whoa. And I still exercised on very little sleep, which probably, I don't know if that's the best thing, but I still did it. I did like lighten my load a little bit when I did the lifting this week. I didn't do all my sets just because I didn't want to have any damage to my muscles or whatever. At least that's what my son told me I should do. I don't even know. But it just goes to show in life, it's like an up and a down. So this is the thing. I think so many times, and I know, I've listened to a podcast today, and I could go on and on about this podcast, guys. And this guy wrote a book, and it's like a bestseller, but I probably shouldn't say bad things about this person. But I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, people probably read this book and they listen to this guy speak, and it's all about weight, and it's all about how you're incapable of completely altering your diet, and how psychologically you're always going to need ice cream and cheese and all these things, so you have to just learn to deal with how to regulate that. And I so disagree, because this is the thing. I think after living 47 years of my life, obviously when I was a kid, I didn't have issues with weight as a child. I was very active. I didn't eat very well. I drank Pepsi, like that was my staple, out of the glass bottle. Who's with me there? I would have it for breakfast, guys, before I went to school. So I didn't have the best, I had the Kraft mac and cheese saltine diet is what I would call it as a kid, because I didn't really, I think I've talked about it before. I didn't eat a lot of meat even, but I was very active. Didn't have a weight issue until after I got pregnant with my daughter. But since then I was 19. So 19 to 47, I was overweight the whole time, and I battled with that. Now I gotta say, I will tell you one thing: I have never not loved myself. I didn't like being heavy, but I thought it was pretty stinking awesome. So I'm not someone who was ashamed of who I was necessarily. I didn't like that I was overweight, but I liked who I am. And who I am right now is the same person I was 5 months ago, who was almost 60 pounds heavier. So my habits have changed. My weight is different. The person who I am is exactly the same. So I do know that some people struggle with self-worth, and I think that we self-sabotage maybe because of that, or some people self-sabotage because of that. But I really want to go to the place, and I don't want this to be real long, but I battled with, I didn't feel like a failure. I just felt like things didn't work for me. So, I felt like crap. I did all the diety things, but I wasn't someone who yo-yo dieted. That wasn't me. I didn't obsess about, even though I was overweight, I'm loved by my husband, by my family. I'm sure there were some people who didn't like the fact that I was overweight. I know that there were some people that didn't like that, or maybe said things, whatever, but I didn't obsess about it. So I didn't in shame try to hide myself necessarily. But I think the biggest thing for me is, if you fuel your body the right way, which I've learned with this eating this way, it makes a huge difference. Like your ability to, this thing that I listened to today about willpower and how we don't have it. Well, that's not because we psychologically can't. It has to do with what we're consuming. And I know that now for a fact. My wanting to eat more or eat too much or whatever was my body's crying out for, you're not feeding me what I need. And once you do that, all of that shit goes away. And I'm sitting here not because of willpower, but because once you get the right fuel, this is what can happen. This happened for me. It can happen for you. And the thing is, it's not about the weight, but about, do you want to get rid of the you know, if you're pre-diabetic, if you're, you know, just type 2 diabetes, if you have gestational diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, or, you know, high cholesterol, or some cancers, or MS, or you know, autoimmune disorders, or thyroid conditions, or all kinds of things. Your body, all of those things, obviously not every single one thing can be fixed with diet alone, right? But it makes a huge difference. And a lot of those diseases are your body's way of crying out and saying, I need what I need, and you're not giving it to me. Give me more, because it doesn't know what the hell to do with what you're putting in your, half the shit we eat isn't even food. So once you give your body the right stuff, then you're going to feel a whole lot better. You're going to be in control of what you're eating, because now you're giving your body, and it's not giving you mixed signals and making you feel funny or weird. And you're going to have energy to be able to exercise if you didn't before. I can guarantee it. So, okay, so I just had to go there. But again, back to the scale obsession. That's something I got to work on. So I don't want her to fall off. She's like rolled over. I'm going to see if I can pull her over here. I'll do that so you can see her. Here, hold on. Come here, baby. Here, baby. Can you see her cute face? Look at that face. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wanted to share that. And then, I signed up for, it's through Plant Forward. Oh, let me look what it's through a nutrition study. So it's the T. Colin Campbell, the one who wrote the China study. They're doing Plant Forward 2020, and it's like she's on my arm now. She's so sleepy. Here, baby. There you go. Look at those paws. Can you see them? They're so big. They're doing a 6-workshop series, and it's all about, from everything to, like, it's all about like whole food, plant-based eating. It also has some stuff on the environment, how to, like, help communities, that kind of, it's just a variety of stuff. You should check it out, though. But I think it starts, like, October, but it's called Plant Forward 2021. But it's just, like, some different workshops so you can listen to. But I'm excited, because I'm just obsessed with finding out as much information as I can about this lifestyle and how it can help not only me, but maybe other people too. So I think that's really all I have for today. But what I just want to leave you with one thing. I didn't mean to get like lectury or anything, and I don't know. The more I get into this, probably the more I will. But just know, my week wasn't easy, and this is probably the first time in a while. And I did have a little bit of a, like, you know, I realized how important exercise is to me, especially today. I did my 5 mile, and I got to tell you, I was so grateful. I felt so good afterwards. I felt so good. Now, I didn't kind of want to do it. I wanted to walk this morning. I threw a baby fit because I couldn't, not going to lie. And then I'm like, well, I'll walk a little bit later this afternoon when I have more time and some of the other kids, you know, get done with school, and we can have someone watch the puppies and whatever. And I did. And right beforehand, I'm like, I don't know if I can do the 5 mile. I did it when I was in the middle of it. I'm like, oh, I love it. It just gives me joy, and it makes my body feel so good. So if you haven't tried getting out there and walking, pick a couple days a week and just kind of stick to it. Your body will get used to that, and it will love it, and you'll feel so much better. And that does help your sleep too. It really does. If you can take a walk after dinner, oh, it'll help your sleep so much. But I just want to leave you with this. And I wrote this down. Because you know how I talked about loving myself. I did when I was heavy, and I love myself now. But I feel like I'm more appreciative of my body now than I ever was. And that doesn't have to do with like loving myself, but I'm just very thankful, more grateful for that. But I want to tell you, whoever's listening to this, maybe you're listening, I don't know if you're listening and you made it all the way to this part. Thank you for that. But you're worth working for good health for yourself. You're worth it. You're worth making those choices to feel better for your friends and family, and for you, so that you can get up and do the things that you want to do and not battle with illness and fatigue and disease. And although we won't be able to completely combat it with nutrition, it starts there. Every animal on the planet, what are the 2 things that they think about, right? Food and sex. And It's kind of a funny thing. I don't know. But this is the thing. They're all about thinking about what they're going to eat today. Plan ahead. Make sure that you've got your week planned out. Set yourself up for success. You're worth it. So, anyways, you all have a blessed one. Thank you for watching. I will be back next week. Oh, I got to take a sip of my coffee in my Plants Only mug. Yeah, so Plants Only shop, I got to give them a plug because it's a wonderful, wonderful shop with lots of fun things. So you'll have to go check it out. PlantsOnlyShop.com. No, I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I just think they're amazing. So you all have a blessed one. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with another update. So see you later. Bye.